I'm just hoping that it means that we see Yorick Alawi every game. That's what I want. Just want ultra split forever. Never see the rest of your teammates.
I don't think we're going to see Alawi in the LCK anymore, Atlas.
No,
I think that ship has sailed.
It left with Ixu.
Yep.
So
unfortunately, it did. I guess unfortunately is a matter of perspective.
No, 100% it's unfortunately.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it's subjective. I think everyone, like if you don't love Ixu, then that's just something that I don't understand.
Don't appreciate.
Yeah.
Don't need that energy in your life.
I disagree. All right, got a bit of a playback here on Tekeria as even Teddy trading a little bit aggressively here, but losing out, as you can see. Sustained advantage certainly there for the Senatam Kench. See how much value Prince is going to get. You can imagine that Prince is probably pretty excited about having a better showing in the laning phase this time around. We'll see how that manifests itself into this game on the Jinx alongside the Thresh. You already pointed out that it should be a pretty free lane here. See how that does go as Faker and Fate just trading blows back and forth. And Croco there in the jungle.
It's nice to see the difference because, as you can see, Jinx can use her mana pool to effectively gain prio in that lane, which is why Teddy and Carry have to back off. They tried as much as they could to maybe go for a new level 2, but unable to do so, which I think ideally the Jinx and Thresh should not allow. But you also see that when it comes to the actual trading, and I think the all-in potential, the Senna Kench, there's a lot more. So it's an interesting little interplay between those two. As Comet Azir coming out in full force here.
Yep.
As Faker is indeed bullying Fate early. And I think once Fate gets a little bit of lethality under his belt, he's going to feel a lot better. And as we pointed out early on, that is not a fun matchup for the Wukong. He will be fine, even in a matchup where he does fall behind. But early on, it is not very enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, the classic Wukong situation is find me some skirmishes as soon as I'm level 6, please, everyone. And we've seen that Wukong has been very successful in the LPL. And that's because LPL likes to skirmish a lot. Let's see whether Live Sandbox can actually get some skirmishes early on. Because, of course, Jace is going to spike a lot once he gets that first bit of lethality, as you already mentioned. And good old Rumble needs no introduction after the Equalizer comes on in. So see how these fights do go around the first Rift Herald and things like that. Live Sandbox probably looking to start pulling some triggers then.
Nice play both from Faker and Effort there. Effort just paying a visit to his old teammate, you know, saying,
yeah,
hello, it's been a while. Nice run. This is what we have been praising Effort for, and I think that this is such a better look for Live Sandbox because it makes a lot of sense in their style as well, right, where they want to look for that early game. And Faker on the other end recognizes I am Azir, I have plenty of mobility.
Yep, and I like how also we sort of skipped over the fact that the ridiculous visual bug of Faker kind of just blinking over a wall. It's happened so many times that we don't really comment on it, but yeah, he did sort of, it did seem like maybe there was some voodoo going on there, but there wasn't. It's just what happens sometimes.
The continuous set hovers have also now made their way in the game where Faker is like kind of taunting us by saying, I will never play set again, but it will ninja over the wall.
It was actually really funny because I was kind of expecting T1 to have a little bit more of that set priority because Faker was practicing it when I walked out to the caster desk earlier on, but just didn't really come to fruition as Faker's Azir win rate is pretty ludicrous. 50 wins to 16 losses. My goodness. Not bad. As now he's going to get taken down very, very low. Gets himself the shield there as he shifts some sands around. Cuz hasn't really been the hyperactive Volibear that we've seen from other Volibear players, but we've also seen Volibear scale decently as well, as Croco is trying to tell us, nope, that's not really how that one works. Summit is in a bit of trouble. But of course, this is what we're expecting. And Clid, as we mentioned before, 4 wins on this champion. 1 win for Cuz as well.
Oh, that's a bad misclick. Thank you for pointing that out, Observer. No level up on the ultimate there for Kana.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not it. To be fair, in this scenario, you post 6, like diving a Wukong is just not a good idea.
Maybe it's to stop himself from making the unfortunate play. I highly doubt it. I think it was probably just a misclick, thinking that perhaps he was level 7 instead or something like that, but it's a little bit odd.
I was going to give you, credit for the 5-head, seeing the lines prediction, but then you already kind of took that one down yourself. And
you're not going to be taking Q until level 8, though, are you? Because
no, you're
going to be taking the next point in E, level 7. So interesting. Just a whoopsie. Sometimes you do that. Maybe there was like this weird situation where perhaps if he had that little bit of extra damage on Q, he might have been able to kill us. Faker is going to save me from that line of thought as he does throw back Fate with the Emperor's Divide. But isn't even going to get the flash. Fate's going to be absolutely fine. So no worries there. Sometimes you just want to add that bit of extra pressure, though.
Just make him scared. Keep him jumpy.
Yep.
Allows Cuz to get the scuttle, so Faker, just a team player. His jungler wants the scuttle. He's like, I'll use my ultimate. That's completely fine, because I don't think that T1 necessarily want to look for something here. As Cuz not quite 6 yet. Is it a level deficit? Is 1 minion away, though.
Yeah, Cuz's cannon's coming down. Doesn't have the kick, remember, guys, as Fate is going to dive in. It's an unfortunate timing there, as there's the flash ult. Fate has the flash, though, and Croco, that is not it. But he is able to kill Faker with it. Okay, I thought he was hunting after Cuz, but he is going to be able to get the Azir in the end. So I apologize, Croco. That's the double kill. As Canna comes in,
no!
He doesn't have it! He didn't even know that he didn't have it! As he's now burning down, and Fate's going to be able to grab the kill. What a disaster! Oh no, you can see Cuz's face as well. It's like, this ain't it. But I can't believe it. I don't think Canna even knew that he hadn't leveled up the ult. What? That's crazy.
Kana didn't make it over the wall. Cuz thought he smited a minion because he thought he was gonna hit level 6. If you hit level 6 there, you ultimate immediately the tower, and Faker doesn't die. And you better put on the carry pants, T1 bot lane. But no, Effort is there to save that play as well.
Oh my goodness!
Everything went wrong there.
It's a comedy of errors.
Oh,
what a disaster. Okay, break them all down for us here, Chronicle. I don't think I quite got him when we were casting this particular moment.
Like I said, everything goes wrong. Cuz thinks he'll hit 6, but he doesn't have the initial mini, so the turret gets him an extra strut. Faker dies. Then Kana also, for some reason, isn't able to make it over the wall, doesn't want to go for the risk of, trying to go for a Q and then missing it and not being able to join the play. But I don't know why he just didn't use the ward over the wall and then...
Let's see the pro view.
I think that's the realization that set in there.
Yeah, didn't say anything.
쏘리. 너 궁을 안 찍었냐? 쏘리.
Even if you find that kick, I think you still might die. And I still think that, like...
Yeah, I know. I don't think it was a bad play. I don't think it was a good play, irrespective of the situation.
Exactly.
However, I believe that was indeed the realization, as he said sorry afterwards. As you guys saw, he said it in English, as that is going to be Dawning Shadow, just to make sure that hook isn't going to find anything. And oh dear, I also need to apologize because that was a great equalizer. I don't know why I decided to say that it wasn't phenomenal. But, sometimes we make a mistake. As, look, that is exactly what we just saw.
Yeah, because I like the idea behind that play. Because I think if you execute that well, it's basically a free dive, right? You find the ult, like Volibear ults, then he gets the kill, or Faker gets the kill. At least Faker gets out. Kana jumps on top of him, maybe he has the kick.
Yeah.
And then you can just disengage. And there is a possibility that Effort still finds a punish on that play, but in of itself, it's not... Even then, like, you trade maybe 1 for 1, and now the game has shifted to a point where you are counting your lucky stars as T1, that Teddy and Carry have as much lane pressure as they do. Because if they didn't, this game would have been real bad.
It's also, like, there are so many flow-on effects, right? Because due to the fact that Canna had spent so much time in the mid lane and didn't get anything for it, you can see top lane is completely evened out, and Summit's made it to level 9 just fine. And so now the Wukong value is going to be so much higher. They grab themselves the Rift Herald as well, and Liv Sandbox is set to start a snowball. Yes, T1 have got a lot of extra money due to the fact that the bottom lane has picked up a couple of plates and is having a good time. But I just don't know whether the mid game is going to continue to be as kind to T1 if the flow of the game is going to go into the direction that it has been.
And the saving grace for T1 is that I think that, unlike the last game, you will feel a lot more comfortable going in the late game. Yes, the Jinx is incredibly scary, and the Wukong can always find those team fights, especially with a fat Croco, who has a very happy Rumble game here, because getting fed early as Rumble generally makes for incredibly easy pressure across the entirety of the map, as Carrier will cancel his back to ensure that there won't be a first turbot to come through here. But it's still, this is not the look you want for T1. This is one of the teams that wheel to the standards of being one of those top 3, right? Together with Genji and Kia. And to then have mid-game errors like this.
Ooh, that's a lot of plates to go over to Prince as well. It's going to even things out a lot. If this matchup is now Summit in trouble, we'll see how the decoy is going to work, as he does have the Cyclone. It looks like T1's not going to be able to do it. Out goes Cuz with the ultimate in response to this teleport from Fate. That's not how they really wanted this one to go. Getting the teleport certainly good, though, as Teddy's just going to take down Prince on the bottom side. Can't Lantern in time. There's another mistake this time from Liv Sandbox.
And Prince didn't think that that lost auto would kill him, because look, he has the heal still available. Yeah. And I understand, because I didn't think that auto would kill him this early on. And a pivotal difference here from last game we haven't talked about. Look at Teddy's build. Last game he went for a full tank build, right?
Yeah.
He had the Divine Sunderer and he had the Black Cleaver, which made him incredibly survivable as we saw. But at the same time, his damage of course going to be lower. This time though, it looks like he will be going for straight up damage, and considering how last game went and how powerless he must have felt, I kind of get it.
I get it as well, because this time you've got the protection of a Tahm Kench, so it is a different story. As the Ignite in with the last auto there, just going to easily be enough. So a bit of a whoopsie, as Teddy's going to move on up. Kraken Slayer now completed. Yeah, he wants to have a lot more impact this game, is what you'd feel. And this is the first time he's actually gone for this build thus far. I believe this is his 3rd Senna game, and this is going to be the first time that he's headed towards the Kraken Slayer.
And even the T1 dive on top side didn't actually do that much. As we already pointed out, diving Wukong, even with a Volibear, who is one of the best turret divers in the game, it just generally isn't going to go out great. But just forcing out that teleport from Fate does mean that Teddy and Carrier can actually play it like we just saw. You know,
yeah, and Faker also gets, you know, a 25 CS lead on that bottom side when things were prior a little bit more even.
Yep. So it's an interesting game. I am really happy to see this look of Liv Sandbox, but as T1, you know, it's not the end of the world, but again, regardless of outcome, I feel like this is not the team that we kind of expected to see. This is not the series. T1 might still win this, they might take this game, they might take the next one, but there is a lot of pressure on this team, there's a lot of pressure on these players, and I imagine neither themselves nor a large part of the people watching are going to be super happy with not great form today.
This is the Goon Squad down towards the bottom side, as we're going to miss the majority of our buttons on Liv Sandbox side, and that's going to mean that no dive is going to be possible, especially without a minion wave, and Cuz is in the area.
It's an important one, because giving up first turbot can provide Liv Sandbox that spike that they, I think, are looking for.
Ooh, robbed. Give him the mulligan on that one, as Croco's going to move in. Faker actually didn't react to it. Great hook on the bottom side here, though, as Teddy's going to get devoured just in time there, but is it going to be enough? That's a really long-range rocket from Prince. Fantastically played there, as now Carrier is on the run. Teleport going to be invested here by both Faker and Canna. See whether it's going to be enough. That play was incredible, and now the Cyclone comes in. Super Mega Death Rocket is exactly that, as it's a double kill. Make it a triple, as another Giga range rocket comes out from Prince, and he almost gets the quadra kill afterwards. Liv Sandbox are popping off.
It's mayhem in the LCK Atlas, as Liv Sandbox take an incredibly decisive team fight. It starts with Prince and Effort. The combination of how clean Effort played that, and look
that flame, man.
Look at these chompers as well. Teddy going in so forward, in of itself might be salvageable, but look, the chompers, he can't be eaten. And then the flash into the last auto. Doesn't get anything done for them. The double teleport comes through and they're feeling good. But this flank from Summit here. This is the combo we were talking about. Cyclone plus Equalizer. Man. The clone gets knocked back. The collapse is there from Liv Sandbox. And now you have an Omega Fat Jinx that picks up a triple. Another kill for Croco.
시원하다.
All right, we need to get a full translation on what he said after T1 there, because our lessons have not been enough.
We are not ready for this.
But damn.
Wow.
Just amazingly well done. And I'm super happy that Wukong is finding some success. He said that was so refreshing. That's what he said. As in, like, sort of like a cold beer after a hard day's work. You know, that sort of refreshing, I believe, is sort of how he referenced it. It's difficult because, you know, translation's hard. But see whether it's going to continue to be refreshing. But my thought prior was the fact that Wukong is now showing what he's capable of in these earlier skirmishes. And I think that we've missed out on a lot of the good Wukong play here in the LCK. It has had its brief successes, but not too many. So Liv Sandbox certainly demonstrating how to play this one out. And you can see they've extended themselves towards a 3,000 gold lead. Are we staring down the barrel of a Liv Sandbox 2-0 over T1?
What can I say, Atlas? The LCK at the moment is in shambles, in a positive sense. Because while I think that obviously there was a really big misexecution from T1 in both the final play on the last in the last game and that initial dive.
Oh, that's the red carpet for Canna as Effort's going to flash on forward. Gets the flash out from Canna. Probably take that one, because now they're going to be able to grab this outer turret on the top side of the map as well with Shirley. They have had 100% of the Heralds so far this series, I believe. That's going to only make that amazing Herald statistic even better. And Liv Sandbox, they're going to get another charge. They might get another turret as Prince is here with his Gatling gun, and that's going to easily take that one down. Damn, this gold lead is really starting to get out of control, as Faker was able to help take the bottom outer turret as well as push this wave all the way forward. So that might buy a bit of space for T1 on the bottom side. But it's 3.5 minutes until the next Drake. It's one Drake apiece, but Liv Sandbox has the good one. And we now have another situation where T1 need to assess the power of the Ocean Soul. And we'll see whether they can actually win some fights. But I feel like Liv Sandbox are geared up so much better for these Dragon fights as well.
Gonna answer that one for you. I don't think they can. And I think the problem is that I think the Liv Sandbox comes, even in an even setting, spikes harder in mid-game because of the Wukong, the Jace, and the Rumble, right? Like, Jinx will always remain relevant, but now you have an insanely accelerated Jinx, an insanely accelerated Croco that just hit level 2 on the Equalizer for the Rumble, and that means that ST1, I think, normally you'd say, okay, we might give this one up, but after that, our scaling on the Azir and the Senna starts to kick in. And Teddy was ahead. He had the Kraken Slayer finished, but that was a triple kill for Prince previous to Prince getting a triple kill, who is now up an item.
2.5 items on the Jinx. When the Infinity Edge is done, it's going to be a lot of damage that T1's going to have to contend with. It's just going to mean that they will have to play near perfect whenever these engages do occur. And that is so hard, because Liv Sandbox, it's so easy to achieve what they want to achieve. It's like, get the monkey into the back line and make sure that Effort's positioned to keep Prince safe, and Bob's your uncle, win a team fight. Throw down some equalizers, some shock blasts, woo! Everything's great.
And not only is it easy, they're also just playing well. Like, yes,
they are,
as I said, like, yes, T1 are making mistakes, but that skirmish on the bot side was just straight up Liv Sandbox, recognizing that situation, seeing the double TP, and like, no, we can win this. We're in a position to collapse onto this. And
also, like, we need to talk about Summit again, because I'm so glad that we can talk about Summit being good. Because he was having some rough times, right? We knew what this guy's potential was, but he's really starting to pop off. And yeah, this is what happens when you Jinx is this fed. You can just evaporate the Baron. And T1, yeah, they're going to find out now, but it's a little bit too late.
I don't even think it matters if they know. I'm pretty sure they're aware of it at this point in time, like with the lack of vision and everyone being gone on the map, but there's nothing you can do. Yeah. Like, at this point, you are at the mercy of Liv Sandbox making a huge mistake. That's the only way you get back into this game. And you pointed out Summit. I want to go towards Croco and Effort, because I think that Croco has mainly been seen as really strong together with Summit. Because we had a discussion about this earlier on, where I am also of the belief that Summit is insanely good. But to then see Croco be everywhere where he needs to be, and Effort.
I mean, Effort, we've been singing his praises for, like, the whole season thus far. He has been playing so much better. And I think people were confused as to, you know, why he fell off so much, because we were praising him, you know, like a year and a half ago. He was great, as that is a brilliant zoning equalizer. That's going to mean that Liv Sandbox will very comfortably grab this inner turret, while Summit's doing the same thing on the bottom side. They do lose a turret elsewhere, I believe, but it's not going to be an issue as Faker, he's going to use the ult this time around. It is going to be Summit actually getting hit by it, as he didn't want to go too deep. But now they will be able to easily take this one down as well. So the influx of gold is just ridiculous here for Liv Sandbox. There's Canna splitting towards the top side, trying to answer. Not really achieving enough, as Liv Sandbox are now just going to grab a very comfortable second Drake. So weird seeing them with this Baron buff, but it's only 20 minutes into the game, and they are nowhere near a soul or anything like that, but it is starting to be another Liv Sandbox objective game where they seem to be taking over.
Atlas, I was on board with you. I was expecting that third item to be for the Jinx to be an Infinity Edge.
Yeah, I was almost going to say,
but what if?
Something else. But yeah, this is just going to be the Winmore idea. And I love this, right? This is one of the things that we're taught a long time ago, and that is, if you're super far ahead, actually getting the cheeky defensive option is often a lot better, because you're not wanting for damage. You're absolutely fine. Why don't just make it so that T1 has to kill you twice in a team fight in order for them to win? I don't mind it. Now he has to build an Infinity Edge, though. You better.
Oh, he will. He will. But
unless it's Lord Dominic's, but I don't think so.
It's, as you pointed out, it's so good because it feels like what you need to do to win here is somehow get both Croc and Prince in the Shurima shuffle. And that's just impossible now.
And also, like, look at this. The equalizer is so beautifully placed to break open the base as well, as Prince possibly in trouble. He gets thrown back. Takes the lantern, though. Thank you very much, Effort. He's going to grab that kill onto Cuz at the same time. And Prince had a GA the whole time. Even if that hadn't worked, it doesn't even matter, as T1 are just getting destroyed. It looks like a roller coaster ride for this Jinx. He's getting just ported around the map with this Thresh. They'll break open the base and maybe they'll just win at 24 minutes.
A 2-0 for Liv Sandbox? What is happening in the LCK, Atlas?
Well, Liv Sandbox are playing extraordinarily well. Chronicler, that's what they're doing. This Nexus is going to be taken down pre-24 minutes. I don't know what Liv Sandbox had for breakfast, but I want some. Seems to make you super good at the League of